It came from.
That's right. It came from Reddit. This is the part of the show where we search all over the internet to bring you topics the community is talking about. Any topic is fair game as long as it relates to the field of, you guessed it, human factors. This one is from Neon Lights on the user experience subreddit. I can't handle praise from my mentor.
I love this name.
So this is, let's see here. My company CEO told me, or 6 months ago, my company CEO told me I needed to find a design mentor. So I'm the highest level designer at my company, and he wants me to lead design innovation. I ended up finding a mentor who I really respected, spent 10 plus years in the field, and has worked at the biggest design-driven companies. Very thankfully to have him. First of all, I feel so awkward with him because I get very anxious and nervous, and I find it hard to have a natural conversation because of that. Secondly, I ask him for a lot of advice, and I show him what we're working on at the company from a design viewpoint. And after a few months now of him mentoring me, he's been giving me very high praises. This might sound silly, but I'm finding it hard to cope with these praises as I've never really been praised this highly before. I feel a lot of energetic anxiety because of it, and I can't say I like the feeling. I'm just curious if anyone else has felt this way as they are going through their creative development. Blake, how do you handle praise? And is it something that we should be dubious of? Is it, how do you handle praise?
This is a hard one. I should have paid more attention and thought about this a little bit harder. I don't handle praise well. Like I can totally sympathize with whatever this person's saying. I mean, I talked about this a little bit earlier on the or before we even started recording. So I had a couple of colleagues reach out to me about the episode 200 of the podcast, and like I couldn't even really be more. I don't know. My first go-to is like, this is Nick's show, right? That he did all the work. I'm just kind of hanging out. And so I'm not very good at taking praise. And I think it's something that people really, if they have a problem like myself, you need to kind of be okay and take the praise. Take a second to be okay with the fact that you've done something good before you just jet on to the next thing. Cause I think that can wind you up in these kind of tough spots where you've never taken a second to say like, oh, that worked out really well. I'm glad that I was doing this. Any of that kind of stuff, because you'll get caught up in just the bad moments all the time. Also, I've worked with a lot of people over the past 2 years through Design Lab, both with the company as a design mentor, outside of the company after like the company or after students like finish their program for career development and stuff like that. And so I know what it's like, and I'm not saying I am some great senior designer, but I can see it in other people when they feel nervous to talk to me about things. And I think the best way to get around that, if you're feeling that with a mentor, is to be honest with them that you feel that way. And it'll probably give you a different level of relationship with that person. And it will also, if it's so, like in this case, causing you some kind of serious energetic anxiety, it's good for somebody else to know that so that they will tailor what they're kind of spending their time focusing on. Sounds like you just do really good work, and you need to be okay with the fact that you're good at your job and you have an awesome design mentor who has really good experience and is saying that to you. But I think just be very open with the person you're working with so that they can understand and not cause you overly a bunch of this energetic anxiety. But Nick, I mean, how do you deal with like praise or anybody kind of giving you, a lot of attaboys or any of that stuff?
I deflect.
Yes.
I deflect. I mean, look, here's the thing. I'm doing it now. You say this is my show, Blake, this show wouldn't be what it is without you either. And I think one thing that we all have to consider is this little thing called imposter syndrome. And it's very easy to feel that, where you're not quite sure the thing that you're doing, you're not quite sure you're worthy of the thing that you're doing. And I get the sense that that's going on a little bit here. Blake brought up some really good points. Let's talk about them. One, an effective mentor-mentee relationship revolves around communication. And if you are not okay with praise or find it awkward to receive that praise, let your mentor know. That honesty will pay off. And if they're a good mentor, they will adjust the way that they address your work. They might say, they might approach things slightly more critically, and provide a little bit more actionable feedback on some of the nitpicky aspects of it, if that would make you feel better about it. There are ways to give backhanded compliments, if you will, in a mentor-mentee relationship that still provides feedback, but also mostly tells somebody that they're on the right path. This is a weird question because I know a lot of people who don't take praise well. And I think both of us here on the show are included in that, right? Like you said it yourself. You got praise for last week's episode, and I did too. And it's one of those things where it's like, look, like we're just doing the thing that we do. It's almost like it's expected, and so don't praise us because we're just doing the thing. I don't know. I struggle with this one too, personally. And the best thing we can do is kind of communicate with our mentor and say, hey, I don't, can you phrase it a different way?
Yeah, it's super important.
And when you do get that awkward, kind of compliment, then that's when you bring it up to them. Like say, hey, look, like that's really nice of you to say. I don't necessarily feel that. I feel like this is just part of the job, and I'm looking for actionable feedback here. I'm not looking for praise. And so, anything, even nitpicks, that would be appreciated. And so kind of outlining exactly what you're looking for instead of praise, I think might be a way to go. Yeah. Anything else to add to that one, Blake?
I think that's actually a perfect script too, because that's enough to be very pointed about the fact that like you're here for a specific purpose. You're not really looking for anything beyond that. And then it'll probably have your mentor shift their focus and be like, they will tell you still good work. Here's some things you could think about looking at or you should consider versus like long-winded praise. I don't know. If this person hears this, just be stoked that you have some mentor that is this renowned, it sounds like. And they will definitely take the feedback and roll it into how they're talking to you for sure. Because I'm sure this is not the first time they've had to do that.